We're in the middle of an overthinking epidemic, and it's not just parents, it's kids too, a lot of them. Over the past few years, I've noticed the number of parents and teens who are thinking about a number of negative things that they can't control has absolutely skyrocketed. Replay it, analyze it, predict it, catastrophize it. If you want to intensify a problem in your life, this is exactly how you do it. In fact, if you didn't have mental health struggles before this habit, you definitely will now. But I have good news. There's one simple concept that you can master to make all the difference for both you and your family. So what is overthinking? Overthinking is simply you have a flood of thoughts that just keep coming into your head, and it creates almost a centrifuge where they just spin and spin, and we're magnifying the negative thoughts. They're usually negative, and we intensify them like crazy. And for a lot of the people that I see that overthink, they report feeling like it's a house of horrors in their head where they just can't get out of their own head and everything is just screaming and spinning, and it's really, really challenging. Throughout the day, an individual experiences higher levels of anxiety, higher levels of depression, depending on what thought is spinning and being magnified inside of their head. On top of that, it impacts relationships because they're not in the right headspace, and it really impacts sleep. There's a lot of kids that I see that have a lot of trouble sleeping at night, and what the problem is they are overthinkers. They go to bed when all the stimulation disappears, and all of a sudden all the anxious thoughts in their head now jump to the front, and it keeps them up anywhere between 30 minutes and a couple of hours each night, every night. There's always been overthinkers. We've always had this problem, but I did see a huge uptick in overthinking after the pandemic. Why? What's the worst punishment you can have in jail? It's solitary confinement. There's a reason for that. It's because there's nothing to do. All you do is just think, and usually when you're thinking, you're not thinking good thoughts. All it makes you want to do is just get out of wherever you are because it's so challenging and difficult. We saw the same thing with families, kids especially, after quarantining during the pandemic. Now all of a sudden, there's a 25% increase in the kids that I'm working with at least who are now overthinkers. But like I mentioned, there's a way out. What I need you to understand right out of the gates is how this breaks down. See, thoughts create problems. You can't have emotions of depression, anxiety, stress, low self-esteem without thoughts first. What we think about creates what we feel. So when you're dealing with thoughts are often creating problems, but actions fix problems. Let's say you're worried about taking a test and not doing well on it. Those are the thoughts that you start to create. It's, oh my gosh, what if I don't do well? Oh my gosh, what if I don't get into this school? That is happening before the actual event. And what do they experience? They experience anxiety. Take a completely different kid who doesn't feel good about themselves and has thoughts about, I'm ugly, nobody likes me, there's nobody here for me. That's how they're going through their day. They're gonna have much higher levels of depression. But what if both of those kids were able to pivot off of those negative or anxious thoughts? All of a sudden, their anxiety and depression levels would drop instantaneously because they're taking the mental magnifying glass in their head off of what they're intensifying. You can think about a lot of different things other than what you're focused on because people and situations don't control how we think or feel. We do. And so we need to really take advantage of this. The fact that we can choose to think about whatever we choose to think about whenever we choose to think about it. That's the beauty. There's always going to be hard and challenging things in life. We can't control that, but we sure can control, do we choose to focus on that or not? The analogy I use for the kids to communicate this is, you ever pick up dog poop and before you tied up the bag, put it into your face and smelled it and dug your finger in there to see what the dog ate? And they all say no. You're doing the same thing with the poopy things that are happening in life. All you want to do in that situation is tie that bag up and get rid of it. We have to do the same thing with negative and anxious thoughts. And you have that power and control by thinking about something different. If you want to learn more about control and overthinking, we've definitely addressed this deeper in the podcast. Make sure you check it out. When I have an overthinker at the office, I talk to them about the importance of where that magnifying glass goes. I walk them through being able to pivot off onto something else, and I can see the change instantaneously with them. their shoulders drop, their face softens. And so once you can teach your kids how to do this one time and their brain connects to that, then it's just about following up, because what we want to be able to communicate is, look, thoughts create problems, actions fix problems. Let's say you got a flat tire on the freeway. If you were just an overthinker, you would pull over, see that you had a flat, and start thinking, of course this happens to me. Now I'm gonna be late for this, and now I'm gonna be late for that. Meanwhile, everybody's flying by you on the road of life. It would take you all of 2 seconds to see a problem and then take action. Call to get that tire flipped out or do it yourself and get back on the road of life. Whether you struggle with this problem or it's your kid, if you can learn how to pivot off and take action, their thoughts need to be, what action do I take to fix the problem, and then initiate the action. As soon as we can start doing that, we start pivoting off of problems really quick and coming up with solutions to fix our problems. Both you and your family will not only be able to feel better, but life will go smoother. If you like this video, please pass it along to other people that you think could benefit from it as well. Let's work together to make a difference for others. Make sure you like, subscribe, and I would love to read your comments. And lastly, I want to thank you, because being a parent is hard. There's no manual, and we all make mistakes, and it can often be a thankless job. But the sacrifices that you have made and will continue to make for your kids will provide them with the structural support that they'll need to get through some of the most challenging and darkest times that they'll ever have. Many won't recognize this until they're older, but they do circle back to you with love and gratitude, along with appreciation and the recognition that they couldn't be who they are nor where they are in their life without you and everything that you sacrificed, fought them on, and challenged them on in order to get them ready for life. So thank you for all that you do. Thank you for your time today.